Welcome into another video, and week 6 is officially upon us. Week 5 was kind of ass. If you think about it, outside of the primetime games and like the Bucks and Seahawks game and the Eagles and Broncos game, wasn't really wasn't really a great week. A lot of blowouts, a lot of just piss poor football across the board. And I got to be like completely honest with you guys. Power rankings is maybe the hardest thing I do. Like putting these teams together against each other when we're this early into the season still. And like, I feel like everybody's identity is just so up and down. I feel like this is going to be very difficult until like week 10, 11, where it's like we're kind of getting a clear view on everybody. I mean, it's just changing so much week to week. I mean, I got guys like flipping, I got teams like flipping 7, 8 spots constantly. And I want to clarify here that I put a gap in between, 20, it was supposed to be 21 to 25. I just changed those around because I think there's a significant gap between those two layers, the bottom layers, versus those top two layers. Let's go ahead and bring up last week's power rankings and show you guys where it went 1 through 5 last week. Four of my top 5 teams lost on Sunday and Monday. And so that's not overly great. Not overly great in any way, shape, or form. Those are last week's power rankings. Take a good look at those. And then you can see here a lot of shifting around in the middle pack there. A lot of shifting around. Cardinals taking a big dive, and deservedly so. You lost to the Titans. Jets become the worst team in football. But if you know how we do it, we start off and we just do our top 10 here. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Kicking it off with their debut in Willie G's top 10, the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, I probably should have had them in my top 10 a little earlier, but you got to give me time to even maybe put them higher. I know they're like ranked like the best team in football right now based off wins and point differential and all of that. You got to give me until like week fucking 10, week 11 for Daniel Jones, okay? Like I'm loving what I'm seeing from Danny Dimes. I made a YouTube video about him just a few weeks ago and like the progress that he is making, but you still got to give me time to fully buy in to that. Okay, you got to give me time, but they are in my top 10 and making their debut. They've got a 25-point win, a 21-point win, and a 34-point win. Granted, they are playing dog shit teams in those wins, but they're wins in the NFL. Blowouts. They are blowing out, crushing these shitty football teams. And a 1-point win over the Denver Broncos, who are in my top 10, and a 7-point loss to the Los Angeles Rams, who are in my top 10. That's real big nutter shit right there. That is big nutter shit right there from the Indianapolis Colts. They are finally deservedly in my top 10. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Let's keep it. Let's see if they can keep it going. Moving on to my number 9. Pretty decent drop this last week. Los Angeles Chargers. That's back-to-back winnable football games where you came out. Well, this one at least, you came out kind of on fire. You had them in check. You had the Commanders in check for pretty much that entire first half. Then they started running the ball. Bill Krosky Merritt started figuring it out. Chargers just couldn't get it going again offensively. Not a great look. They got some shit to figure out. They were looking like the best team in football through the first 3 weeks. Lost against the Giants in Dart's debut. Lost to the Commanders. 2 winnable games in which you should be, arguably 5-0 right now, and you're not. You're 3-2. They are going to figure it out. I think they'll be all right. Omarion Hampton's injury was most definitely a big one for them as well. I think the Chargers are going to be just fine. Moving into my number 8 spot is the team that they just lost to, and that is the Washington Commanders, regaining their place in my top 10 after falling back out of it last week. JD5's back. Second half, he played much better than he did in that first quarter and a half. It was looking really shaky for JD5 in that first quarter and a half. Run game getting figured out. Their defense kept a good Chargers offense in check. It's a big win on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. They're back in the top 10 for sure after that one. Much deserved. Big game against the Bears on Monday Night Football coming up for them. That's going to be a real tell of kind of how they shape up against the rest of the league. Coming in at number 7 is the Green Bay Packers. Getting a little boost off the bye week, and I'm kind of just calling my shot a little bit early here. Next 4 games, Bengals, Cardinals, Steelers, Panthers. That should be 4-0 for the Green Bay Packers, maybe 3-1. Kind of iffy on that Pittsburgh game, but if you want to act like a Super Bowl contender, that should be 4-0. They're going to be getting right. They're going to be getting right heading into November. That's scary. It's a very scary thought. Very scary thought that the Packers are going to be getting right heading into November, where their schedule toughens up a little bit. That's 4 games where you can figure it out and go nuts, because 3 of those 4 teams are dog water. Cardinals are dog water. Bengals are dog water. Panthers are dog water. You should be walk in the park against those teams, and you should beat the Pittsburgh Steelers first time facing off against Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be obviously a juicy Sunday night football game. But I'm calling my shot on the Green Bay Packers. They're going to start getting real hot here real soon. Let's go ahead and wrap up my back 5 of my top 10. And we're going with the Denver Broncos. Their highest spot so far in Willie G's top 10. This is a big win for them. You know, one of them culture wins. One of those wins you kind of look back on once your season's over and you're like, yeah, that was kind of the turning point for my team right there. This is one of those wins, because their first few weeks they've still struggled, struggled offensively, and there's no doubt they did that against a very good Philadelphia Eagles team as well. But that fourth quarter, overcoming a 2-score deficit on the road against the defending Super Bowl champions, that's big nutters. That's big nutters right there for the Denver Broncos. I think this is going to be a team now who's going to be able to use some of that juice from this win and start to get rolling. I mean, we were having the same conversations about the Denver Broncos this time last year when Bo Nix was just a rookie. Second half of the season, they really started to take in some heat. I think we're going to see some similarities. Now, this is a big win for them, a turning point win for them. They're going to start rolling here very shortly. I had them at number 2 in the division behind the Chiefs, but the Chiefs, man, really struggling. This team has a real chance to get some juice going and go out there and win the division this year. Let's go ahead and get in my top 5, dropping back 2 spots, the Los Angeles Rams. Listen, guys, I feel like this is just classic McVay regular season, September, early October bullshit, man. They should be 5-0. They blew the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Had that one in the bag. You blew it. Absolutely blew it. Disgusting loss, disgusting comeback loss. And then this one on Thursday night, man. I mean, Kyron Williams just got to hold on to that football, and they go out there and they win that game. They go out there and they win that game. Sad. It's sad. But this is classic McVay, Stafford, Rams, September, October bullshit. This team was 1-4. 1-4 last year around this time. They lost to the Bears, man. This team lost to the Bears this time last year. They're going to be just fine. There's going to be that point where they're going to start really rolling and getting hot come playoff time. They're going to start winning a lot of ball games over the next couple of weeks. They're in a tough division. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy, but this team's going to be one of the best teams in the NFL the remainder of the season. Guaranteed. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. You think I'm going to drop them out of my top 5 just because they're 3-2? No. Two ugly losses where they should have won those games. It very well could be 5-0 right now. Top 5 debut down in sunny Florida, Tampa Bay, baby. Wow, I'm loving this team, man. This is the most fun team in the NFL to watch. Is it giving off the Vikings vibes? I know I've said that a couple times about this team. Is it giving off the 2022, 2024 Minnesota Vikings vibes? Of course. Of course that it is. They're in like every single game, coming down to the wire, winning them. The fears of getting blown out in the first round of the playoffs, I understand. I understand the scares, but, man, they're rolling. They're rolling. They've played some damn good teams up to this point, man. The Seahawks are no joke. They're no slouches. Going in to the 12th man, that's not an easy task. Not an easy task. And they prevailed, man. They prevailed. Defense stepped up when it needed to. Baker finished the job. He's got, 4 game-winning drives this year? Which is insane. Like, thinking about, like, they very well could be 1-4 right now. But they're not. That's what good teams do. They prevail. It's going to be okay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, much deserved in my top 5. Let's go ahead and move on to my number 3, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. They need to wake up offensively, because they have yet to put together a complete offensive game so far this year. That first half against the Denver Broncos against the Dallas Cowboys didn't look like they missed a beat, man. Second half didn't show up. They didn't show up. It's as simple as that. It was the exact same thing with the Rams. They didn't show up in the first half, showed up in the second half. Showed up in the first half against the Bucs, 0 passing yards in the second half for them. Showed up in the first half against the fucking Broncos. Here we go. They're non-existent. Non-existent in the second half offensively. Yeah, it cost them the game. Cost them the game. Broncos defense is good, but it's not the top defense in the league like we thought it was going to be. They got to wake up offensively. It's still a great roster. Still a great roster. No doubt about that. I think they're going to figure it out. I think they're, just in that Super Bowl hangover phase right now. I'm still a believer in this roster, still a believer in the Eagles. And it's going to maybe be a couple games before they get rolling, but I fully expect them to get rolling. It feels like they've got, Saquon Barkley on, kind of preserving his body, preserving his health, which is fair and understandable, but they've got a get right game against the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football. They better do that. Let's go into my number 2. Detroit Lions, their highest ranking so far this season. 4-1, offense is rolling. There is a disclaimer. Their 4 wins are against the Bears, Browns, Bengals, and Ravens, 3 of which have some of the worst defenses in the NFL. Their biggest opponent, the Green Bay Packers, blew them out of the water. So there is some disclaimers, but when your offense is moving like that and you're getting hot, it's easier to keep that going. Okay? It's easier to keep that going, but I do expect them to maybe drop down a few spots right now. But the way they're playing football, blew out the Bears, spanked the Browns, spanked the Bengals. It's damn good football. I don't expect them to finish at 2 in my power rankings, but as of right now, they look like the second best team in the NFL. That's just the truth. Cold hard truth right there, and I'm still rolling with the Bills at number 1. Hate me or love me, I don't care. I don't care. That's the team I predict to win the Super Bowl this year. They're 4-1. It was a division rival. Division rival games are never easy. I talked about it when they played the Dolphins, and it didn't look all peaches and rainbows. Division rival games are never easy, ever. They're never. Each team is going to show up and give it their all against a divisional opponent. No doubt about that in my mind. Now, the Saints game, it didn't look great. But even this game, really, it just didn't look like the regular Buffalo Bills. Weird turnovers, like that's just not their identity. Hasn't been their identity, up to really this point this season, all of last season. So I just think it was just a weird game for them. One of them one-off games. I think the Bills are going to be just fine. I think this is going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC this year. I think the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC will be going through Buffalo this year. I'm not overly worried about that, and I'm riding with them until they give me a reason not to. Patriots got a hell of a boost this week. A lot of good football teams got a lot of hell of a boost this week. Power rankings are tough, guys. Power rankings are tough. They're not easy. If you love fantasy football content, dynasty football content, make your way over to my channel where we broke down week 5, Emeka Egbuka, Bill Krosky Merritt, Travion Henderson. We talked about a lot of rookies, a lot of guys, a lot of sophomore wide receiver talk as well. So make your way over to my channel, tune into some fantasy football content. And thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.